So this video is going to be my first year at university explained, is that the word, and my tips, my advice, my personal experiences. So I have just completed my first academic year at university. I attended university a year late, so I am actually 20 years old, I'm not 19. So I went to university a year late, slightly stupidly because I now pay the £9 a year fees. Yes, but everyone has to do that now, so it's just something we have to deal with, isn't it? So anyway, I attend Manchester Metropolitan University and I study fashion buying and merchandising. Yes. My first year at university, well, okay, as you can probably tell by the lovely fire door, I lived in halls for my first year. The halls that I stayed in were actually really quite impressive. Not, okay, I wouldn't say impressive, but for halls, I'd say they're pretty good. I've seen other people's halls and they're not very nice. I have an ensuite, so, you know, that's already a plus. Single bed, quite a lot of storage. It's quite a big room, like you can see all this space I have. I'm moving out at the moment, so it looks very bare and depressing, but it did have a bit of character to it. Okay, so living in halls is kind of like a bit of potluck. You either live with people you really like, or you don't really get on with the people, you don't really talk to the people. I was really lucky. I get on with all of my flatmates really well. It's a flat of four, mine, 4 people, 4 different bedrooms and 1 kitchen / living room. But then next door, we're really, really good friends with them, so it's basically like one big one. Yeah, I lived with all girls just because I don't like boys, no. Just because the thought of living with boys made me, ooh, no. I probably could have lived with boys because we didn't share a bathroom, but still sharing a kitchen with boys just makes me feel slightly uncomfortable. So I lived with all girls and it was fine. Like, we had the odd bicker, you know, as you do being a girl, but generally I've enjoyed living with the girls that I live with and the people next door. Yeah, okay, so that's living in halls. Moving on, the main part of university is the course, of course. So I study fashion buying and merchandising. Manchester Metropolitan University is quite renowned for its fashion courses. I applied to 3 universities: Southampton, University of Westminster in London and Manchester Metropolitan. I got into all 3, fortunately for me, but I opted to go to Manchester Metropolitan just because I thought Southampton was too... There was literally the campus that I was at in Winchester, yeah. There was literally 4 courses at that campus and it was just empty. I just didn't like it. There was no atmosphere to it. The other university was the University of Westminster. I really liked the university and I really liked the lecturers. I thought it would be a really good university to go to and I was convinced I was going there for ages. Then I went to an interview and I really loved it, and then when I actually went to the open day and kind of looked around properly, it was in Harrow campus, which it's not in central London, it's sort of on the outskirts, and it's not, like, it wasn't, I just didn't like where it was, and I think where you are is a massive part of university. Although the course was great, I thought the one at Manchester was just as good. And it was in Manchester and right in the city centre here. It was basically, I really love Manchester because it's full of students. There's 3 universities in Manchester, 2 of which are right next door to each other, the University of Manchester and Manchester Metropolitan. And Manchester is just full of students and all of the clubs are student orientated, which is good because they're so cheap. Yeah, and just the whole atmosphere is just... yeah, I just preferred it. I really like Manchester. I'm really glad I came to Manchester. And obviously living in London is really expensive and living in Manchester is really cheap. My course, fashion buying and merchandising, I've really enjoyed my course this year. It's been quite slow though. I would say I don't really understand where the £8 a year I'm paying is going, I will be honest, but the lecturers are really, really good. They're all industry professionals. They all know their stuff. I mean, I'm not really in that much. I'm probably in 14 hours a week, if that, like 2 days off a week. It seems quite ridiculous, really, the little amount of time that I'm actually in university and the amount of money that I'm paying to be here, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I would like to be in a lot more. So, student lifestyle. Generally, I think student lifestyle is very similar wherever you go to university. Generally, start of the year or start of each term, when your student loan comes in and you're like, yay, I have money. It's the best thing ever. You've got this massive sum of money in your bank account, which you've probably never had that amount of money before, sitting in there. And it's really exciting and you go a little bit crazy. I am very good with money, but even being a student, I do struggle towards the end of the term. The last few weeks of term are very depressing. You can't go out, you can eat. I've always made sure I had money for food, but I mean, the food I did buy was not great. At the moment, the end of this term, I'm going home next Monday, so I will go back to mum cooking me food. It's going to be amazing. But the last couple of weeks, I've been living off the Asda Smart Price selection. It's not bad, but it's not great. I have 18p chocolate mousses in my fridge right now. Yeah, they don't really taste like chocolate mousses, but these are the things you have to do. You have to sacrifice these things. I still manage to go out now and then, though, in my last few weeks of term. This is the thing, you have to prioritise. You have to prioritise if you want to go out or if you want to have a really nice meal this evening. These are the things you have to think about. So, my tips for university. If you're attending university in September and you're a little bit scared, you don't really know what's going to happen, just don't worry about it at all. I was really, really nervous. I was moving really quite far away from home. I've never been away from home for longer than a week. I was moving all the way up north and I've never even been up north. I didn't have a clue about Manchester. I didn't know anything or anyone. I didn't know where I was. Didn't know what was going on. So I was really nervous, but as soon as I moved in and everyone's in the same boat, no one knows anyone. Obviously some people are fortunate enough to come to university with like their best friend, but I honestly don't think that's a good idea, because then you're immediately got someone, you immediately cling to that person because that's the only person you know, and then you don't meet as many new people. Whereas if you don't know anyone, you're trying your hardest to make so many new friends that you'll just become really sociable and confident, and yeah. So don't be nervous. That's my first tip. Tip number 2. I would highly recommend joining a social or society or a sport, because it's the best thing I did all year. I decided to join cheerleading because I've always wanted to be a cheerleader. Every time I watch Bring It On, it makes me want to be a cheerleader. So I decided to join cheerleading. I thought, yeah, let's give it a go. I was really scared when I joined. I went there on my own, but literally it's the best thing I did all year. I've made so many friends through cheerleading. I have attended so many socials. We went on tour, which is a sports festival in Spain. You don't actually do any, well, you're supposed to do sports, but it's basically like going to Magdalene for a week with all your mates. We did the university national competition and we won, and it was really amazing. Yeah, it's just, I think it's the best thing you can do if you want to have a life. Because when you're not at your course and when you're not going out, it's nice to have something else to do. So training, we had like once or twice a week, and it was just nice to do something other than drinking or studying. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend joining a social or a sport. That's definitely the best thing I did. I did it as soon as I came. I would also recommend doing it at the start of the year, just so if you join halfway through the year, it's fine, but you'll find that a lot of people have already made their friends in the group, so it's kind of hard to fit in. I'm sure you can, but it's just a bit more difficult. Tip number 3, shop at Asda, because Asda is the cheapest. As I just said, I have 18p chocolate mousses. Pack of 4, that is. Yeah, shop wisely. Food shop wisely. I gave myself a weekly budget of what I could spend on food, and it was usually £15 to £20, which before I came to university, I was like, that's ridiculous, I cannot spend that little amount of money. But believe me, you can. You just have to pick the right things. You have to be wise. You have to stop being a snob about food. At the start of the year, I was like, ooh, as the smart price, really. But now I'm like, yeah, as a smart price. If there's a reduced as a smart price, then you're in luck. It's like 10p for a sauce. I mean, the stuff's not great, but it's edible and it keeps you by. Tip number 4. Keep yourself a weekly budget. When you get paid at the beginning of the year, you can go a little crazy, maybe go on a little shopping spree, go out and spend a reasonable amount. But after you've done your little crazy spree, work out how much money you have, how much you need to pay for rent, and then give yourself a weekly budget so that you don't run out of money at the end of the term. I'm a very organised person, so I'd planned this before I even got to university. I know it's a little sad. So I would definitely recommend having a weekly budget. Mine slowly decreases throughout the year because I go over my weekly budget, so then the next week's decreases and it just gets lower and lower. So now I'm on £20 a week, which is really hard, but I would recommend around £30 minimum per week. But the nice amount is probably about £50 a week to go out to eat and to occupy yourself. Yeah. Tip number 5, make sure you bring lots of DVDs. You'll soon realise how sad your life is without television. We were lucky enough to have a television in our living room, but we didn't have that from the start. Well, we had a TV, but we didn't have any Freeview, so it was just a static television, so it was completely useless. So the first few months when we had nothing, you don't realise how much you miss television. It might just be me and I might just be really sad, but it's hard. Make sure you bring a laptop because then you can watch DVDs. I have a very good DVD collection, so I was kept quite happy. And obviously you can watch on demand, things like that. But yeah, make sure you bring good DVDs. So yeah, my first year at university, I'd say it was pretty amazing. I've loved pretty much every minute of it. There's been times where I've really missed home and I really want some money and I really want a home cooked meal, things like that, but you work through it and it's gone so fast. People always told me your university years will go really fast, and now I believe them because this year has literally gone, feels like a month. Yeah, I've met some amazing people, I've done some amazing things, yeah, so yeah, I am really glad that I came to university and I'm looking forward to come back in September. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's helpful. Yeah. Good luck to anyone that's going to university and I will speak to you soon. Bye!